In this video, I'm going to go over 6.3 compound interest practice. So Bellwork are exponent properties. When you multiply the different bases. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 times 2 is negative 30. And then you need to apply the exponent rule. When you multiply the same bases, you're going to be adding the exponents. So x to the fourth times x to the fourth times x squared is really x to the 10th. And then we look at the y's. We have y to the 5th times y to the negative 2 times y to the 1. If there is no exponent, please write the 1. So 5 plus negative 2 is negative 3. Is a positive 3 plus 1 is 4. And then the z to the third just gets written because it does not get multiplied, so we have to put it in our answer. Now negative 4 over 20 simplifies as negative 1 over 5. X squared divided by x to the third. You minus the exponents. So that's really a negative 1 in the numerator, well, the exponent, and then we have to move it down to the numerator, so that's why the x gets to the denominator. And then y to the 5th divided by y to the negative 2. We subtract the exponents. Minus a negative is really like adding. So then we have y to the 7th. Now for number 2's Bellwork, that is going to be a decay. So a decay model is going to be the 1 minus r. So let's move over to slide number 2. So the work that we're asking you to do, it says a Land Rover sells for $46,100. So that's our initial value. That's our A value. Our R is 18% divided by 100. And then our time, we are talking about years. So then we're just going to put that into the decay model. The decay model, if you recall, is y equals the A parentheses 1 minus r raised to the t power or x power, does not matter. So we just plug it in. Now for the simplified version, you actually minus what's inside parentheses. So 1 minus 0.18 is 0.82 raised to the t. And this part is really beneficial if you use the calculator. It says how much will the Land Rover be, what value will it be in 5 years. So that's where our t comes into play. So we put our 5. And just type out the answer. The value of the car will be $17,091. And you move forward. Now for the slides 3 through 6, this is where we have the compound interest problems. Compound interest is another type of formula. Okay, it is used when we are compounding the money being earned. So they have different variables. The capital P, it stands for principal. That's how much you're starting with. So Jawad puts 300. The rate is exactly what we thought it was. It's the 14%. Got to divide it by 100. And then the end values you want to look at, it says This account earns 14% interest compounded annually. So annually means 1. And then you just put the information in. Make sure that you use the fraction. It's easier that way. Also, when you use parentheses, it's easier that way too, to group the exponent together. So the n has to go in the denominator of the rate, and it also has to go into the exponent. And then we just use the calculator. I suggest copying and pasting. We want to replace the t with 7. That's what our question is asking. Make sure you put the multiplication symbol. So in 7 years, Jawad is going to have $751. And then we continue to do that for slide 4, 5, and 6. So Malak opened up a savings account and her principal is $800. The rate is 5%, so 5 divided by 100. Be careful here, it's 0.05. And then it says it's compounded quarterly, so our n equals 4. Quarterly means it happens every 3 months or it happens 4 times a year. So then we just plug it into the equation that is written for you. Make sure it not only is happening with the rate, but also it's getting put in the exponent. Now we want to know how much Malak has after 6 years. So use the calculator. I just copied and pasted. Instead of my t, I got to remember to hit the multiplication and then 4 years. I'm sorry, 6 years. It says after 6 years. And then we just round. That 0.8 makes it $1,078. Now in number 5, Hattie's opening up an account. His principal, he just put in $200. But look at this. It says it is gaining interest at 12%. So we have to divide that 12 by 100. And then it says compounded monthly. So our n is going to be 12 because it happens once a month or 12 times a year. So use that chart to guide you. And then we just plug it in. So yes, he did not start with a big balance, but that 12% is going to help. And so is the compounded interest. You always want to have a more compound. Monthly is better than quarterly. Quarterly is better than semi-annually because it's happening more times a year. Now we want to know what his balance will be after 7 years. So I'm going to replace the t, make sure you do that times, with a 7. Now he's going to have $461. $461 is so much better than $200. And then slide number 6. Mohammed decided to have $1,000 deposited. It's going to earn a rate of 4%, so divide that by 100. Make sure you do 0.04. Compounded semi-annually, the n is going to be 2. Always have that 1 plus. That will never leave. And then put the 2 along with the exponent. Now this equation is going to be used after 5 years. Put the times 5. So he's going to have a total of $1,219.